Hello friends, hope you're doing well. After some break, we are again starting the series and we shall try to continue. Again, as you can see, that it is the fourth example of array and string, how we can implement array and string, uh, you know. So let's see what we're trying to solve today. So, sparse array. Uh, So some of you may be knowing already about the sparse array. You can it's a mathematical concept. You can check it and you will find material about more. But in this limited, I would say the way we are going to use this sparse array here is that we'll have two set of arrays, and we're going to do some calculations, and it's going to be interesting. So as you can notice, this is our problem statement for today. So let's say we have a string list, in this case A B A B A B C. It could be as many as we can get until the data type supports, and queries can be A B A B C B C. So basically what we are saying is that you have two set of arrays, basically string arrays. One is a collection of string, uh, and one is a collection of query string, or you can say queries. So what we are going to determine is that for a given query, for example, we are going, you can see three queries here, A, B, A, B, C, B, C. So let's pick the A, B, the first one. So how many times A, B is appeared in string list is going to be our one answer. So we need to have the count of each queries, how many times they appeared on a string list. I hope it's clear. So AB, in the queries, if you see, AB appeared two times, so the result should also be in array, by the way, or maybe in a printing also fine, but it should be like two first, then ABC, next, I would say, element in queries arrays ABC. So ABC appeared only once, so it should be one, and BC didn't appear at all, so the answer should be 210. Hope it's clear. So now, how we're going to solve this, or how we're going to approach the problem? So we can approach in two ways. One is, of course, the elementary basic approach, and in this we'll be using two loops, nested loops again. So that makes this time complexity NO2, and we'll first start with query, and we're going to check in each query if it is already appeared in string list. And if yes, then we'll have something to increase the counter, kind of counter, so that we can have a track of how many times each query appeared, and so hence that will continue. Approach 2, on the other hand, is much more efficient. We'll use the hash map, and basically it is called dictionary in C#, and we'll have two independent loops. Maximum it will get till on, because we are going to loop differently. It is not nested loops, and it is much more efficient, that you will see yourself. Okay, so without much time, let's demo time. So let's get going. Let's code it. Okay, so I'm going to write code from scratch. Let's say it's a class, test class, and let's create, it's a namespace basically. Let's create some class. So let's say I'm creating internal class sparse array. I'm just giving name to it. Should differentiate. And for that, since we'll have two different approaches, and we need to call them, we need to use both of the approaches. So maybe let's create public method that will be called from main, that is the starting point. So public static void, and if you follow my tutorials, we are using kind of drivers, so that will be called from caller from main. In that, let's create two different method, and each method, the first one would be the basic one, and then of course we'll try to refine it. So either ways, I can write a name and then create. That is the main initial, I would say, most common one, but let's try the other way around as well. So sparse array. Let's say I'm giving method one, this, I'll call it. Let's see if we can do. Oh, I'm just checking if we can do any reverse engineering. Yeah, it is. So generate method for this. So it created the method already for me. Now I'm going to refine this. Okay, so it will be called basically. Okay, so we need to tell the user that. So there are two things if you notice. We talked about string array. We talked about queries array, two arrays, right? That we're talking about, and so we need to basically store them, and we should be asking the count from user that hey, what's the count of each array. So to print the message, I can write like console dot write line. Please enter the string array count, right? So we'll get the name, and how to get the name you might be knowing already. So int, maybe I can say string list count. By default it comes in string, so we need to convert it in integer. So convert dot to this one, yeah, console dot read line. So it will read, and just to avoid anything that we may get from my spaces, I'm also making sure that I'm trimming it, so that there is no space. Remove a safety guard, and it should be over here. Okay. So string list count will come, and once we got the count, now we need to load the string. So again, we can tell that hey, please enter the list. So please enter the string list one by one, basically. So if you remember the example, we took A B A B A B C. So we'll try to get something similar, right? Or maybe you can take the same example for simplicity. It should work in all the cases. So here we'll take the string list, and again, and to have the string list, of course we can't store in. We need to have some kind of array or list. So list is more efficient, like more, I would say, easy to use. So I'm taking string list. Okay, I'm just declaring that variable that will hold it, and yeah, we also need to add those into, I would say, into the variable. So first we need to take them. First we need to read it from console. So basically not this, but let's say we are taking that console.readline. Console.readline, and again trim. So it will user will insert one by one, and it will keep coming in there. We can also do one thing. We don't need to create this variable. We can directly do one thing. We can store in the string list directly. So string list dot add. So we can avoid a space for one variable. We don't need that. Okay. So we'll keep inserting and keep it on this one. So this was the one loop. Now we need to have something similar arrangement for string as well. So I'll copy this to save time in because approach is going to be similar. This rename few variables. So please enter the string array count instead of, I'll say, query count, query array count, and it would be query list count, not a string. So basically we are taking two arrays and we're filling them. Then of course we'll do the, as we discussed, we'll have two nested loops, two loops, and we'll see how this goes. So please enter the query list one by one, and it will be again a query list. Here as well, you can say, and yeah, okay. So yeah, no change here. We can say query, but if we're not using it, so it's not much relevant here. So we got both these list of strings filled by this time. Now let's create a helper method that will match the strings, and basically it will increase the counter as well. So let's create another helper method called, we can give any name like matching a string or something like that. We can try to get more meaningful name. So private static, and again we need to return list of, we need a count basically, so we can return list of integer, and we can give name like maybe private variable, so we can keep I'm a small matching string, and we need to pass two arrays, so list of string, list of string. So see the two lists, one is string list, one is query list. So string list and list of, again there is another list of string, query list. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. Now as we spoke, we got to have two loops basically, right? If you remember, so we need to loop that, and of course we should have a result as well. So let's create, we can have one result array that will hold our result basically, and let's see. And if you want this count of this would be it is going to be 3 count basically, because every query, as much query we have, we need to have the count against those. Anyway, so let's create a loop. So if you remember, we discussed that we'll have two loops. So first loop will be there for queries. So I'm looping for a query. So I'm starting not string list but query list, because queries are the beginning point. For each query, we need to match on a string list and display the counts. So query list would be the primary loop for us, or outer loop for us, and then of course we need to have another loop. Only thing is that we don't need a counter here, so we can use a for each loop as well here. If there's a counter, then of course we need to have. So for each, again here we need to loop for a string list here. So a string star in string list. Yeah, this one. And again, if you notice there are two loops, and you see that if a string is matching with query list, right? If it is matching, if it is equals, right? Or we can put equal operator as well, anything is fine. we can put dot equals as recommended, so equals, it will check the values of it. If both are matching, then what to do? If you notice our result array, right? So we need to basically we need to have this. I would say initially, right? If you notice, this will this will be uh, this is a list, and we need to initialize this. So instead of that, maybe if we take integer array, that will be easier because that anyway we don't need to instantiate separately. So instead of that, maybe we can take integer array. So integer array of result and new int, and we since we know the size as well, so we can put the size as well. Like as you notice that in list we don't need to provide the size of the list, but in array we have to. So and the size should be the query list dot count. So say we have 3 queries, so it will be 3 size. So by default, the good part is that we don't need to instantiate this one, so we can use it. So uh, initially, let's say 3 element in array, so all three will be 0. But if the count is matching and it is the first one, then what we'll do is result of uh, result of I, because the counter is I for now, and we're going for each array, we'll do plus. So if there is a match, it will increase the counter. Hope you're getting the point. So the query is outer loop. It will have 3 elements, three like array of 3 elements. Initially, all the array will element will be 000. If the query, if the given query is matching with any of that string list, the respective count of the array will increase to, it will increase basically. If it is 1, it will be 2, it will be 2, it will be 3, whatever, right? So that way we can get that, okay, uh, what's the, for any string, how many times it appeared in the string list? For any query, how many times it appeared in a string list? So that count will come. And then of course we can return it. And during return, since it was the array, so result dot we need to make a to list in the converted type. Okay. Now the method is ready. Let's call this as well. So to call it, we need to have a receiving variable. So list of integer, and let's say result again equal to, it will return this one. I need to pass 2 variables. One is string list and one is query list. Okay. And of course, we also need to print it. Then only we can see that it's really working or not. So console dot write line. There are many ways, but there is a simple way I found it, like string dot join. Otherwise, you have to loop it, and you can have a gap. You can print /n, and then of course we need to put the variable that we are going to use result, like a small and crisp way to have it printed. Okay, so we are ready here. Now let's see that it's working or not. So I need to call this one from caller. So sparse array to the driver, and I'm running this. Let's see it's running or not. Okay, and if you notice, yes, array count, string count is 3, and it's okay. So please enter the string. Okay, directly jump there. So there is some issue in the code. It did not stop there. Give a minute. So okay. string list dot add. Okay. Oh yeah. So it should be string list count basically. So it should go tell string list count, right? And query list count. So this is how they should go. These should go so that they can hold into variable. Okay. So again, if it is a count, then we can't use this for loop. We need to use normal loop. So for int I equal to 0, I less than string list count, and then I plus plus, and I can use this here, copy here, and again this is going to be for now. I hope you got the reason, because we need to have this storing into variable, and we need to have the count that how many times we are going to iterate over. So and hence it needs a regular loop. Okay, no worries. So let's try one more time. Okay. Okay, there is, I need to close this, and then we'll run again. Oh yeah, so 3, and now it's working as normal, like expected. And if you notice, we do example of AB, AB, ABC. So for simplicity, I'm taking the same example: AB, AB, ABC. Now query count. So again, we have the 3 queries. Which are the queries? We have AB, ABC, BC. So AB, ABC, BC. Now C. Okay. Okay, it's not returning anything. So again, there is some miss over there. Okay. So result is coming over here. Result to list, and we are setting it. Okay. String in string list. Okay. Yeah. So here, right? We need to have, both are matching. So str dot equals query list I, that is fine, result plus plus. Okay, so what we can do is we can put a debugger over here, and we can see here. So 3 AB, AB, ABC. Again, we have 3 queries as well, and this is going to be AB, ABC, BC, AB, ABC, BC. So if you notice here, we are getting, okay, we are not getting anything over here. Okay. Query list count. Let me check if it is coming over here. Okay, we are getting 6 string. Oh, we're not getting anything over there. So again, just copy paste issue. Both are storing into the query string list, right? So that's the problem. This should be query list. That's I would say you should be careful, extra careful when we are copy pasting. So it's a query list, and also here query list. it was not adding there, so that's the problem. Now I think it should work. So 3 AB AB ABC 3 what was that? AB ABC BC. So AB ABC BC 210, excellent. So AB appeared two times. AB in this query, if you see, AB appeared two times above, so 2. ABC appears only once, 1, and BC didn't, so 0. So I think that's how it is. You might have figured out this how this is working, and we also got some few issues. So you might have understood that if we get some issues, how to handle them, and what could be common issues that we may get while coding. So now, next thing would be, I would say, efficient approach. So let's talk about that as well. If you notice again, we talked about that it is going to be using hash map, or time complexity will be less. So let's see how this works. So what I'll do is I'll create so we have sparse array method 1. So I'll create method 2 here, and again to this select method. So it will create that method over there. And let's see how we can get it done something that is efficiently. So for that, again, something will be common. So I'll copy some of the statement like getting the string count. Uh, that will be common. So first we need to get a string count. So yeah, let's take it here. String count would be similar, no change there. So I'm reusing it. Now what we need to do is, of course, we need to ask user to enter string list one by one. That is again no change there. The change would happen is how we are storing spokes, right? And whether we can do something while storing itself, that is going to be the game changer for us. So instead of, if you notice earlier we were using list, now we are going to use dictionary, and that is going to there's a hash map kind of implementation people are coming from Java or other implementations, or maybe C++. So it's going to be hash map implementation, and C# use, we call it dictionary. So uh, we can say it is the string list, right? We're going to have. So we can say uh, you know either like string list. So we can say string dictionary. That is fine. It is string and integer. So basically it's a query dictionary, because query is the one that will hold that for each query we need to have a count. So I think, to not confuse, you can say query dictionary. So query, for example, 3 queries, so 3 query will come here and their respective count will come here. That's how we're going to implement it. Okay, and for that, now we got a variable. Now let's have the loop. But again, this loop is going to be efficient, not like the previous one, like nested loop. Okay, so let's use a while. It's more simpler in this case. So string list count we already got until it is 0, until greater than 0. So it will keep looping, and we need to get. I would say we need to get what user have entered in a similar way. So we can say string. Uh, you know, we need to add into that. So in dictionary we need to add what how are basically. So we are going to use the dictionary for both purpose, like adding the string as well as queries. And you'll notice that how efficiently we are leveraging the same dictionary for both, and we are in less time complexity we're able to finish the job. Okay. So first, like if you remember, we were taking a string and also then we were taking query. So that concept doesn't change. Only thing is implementation is going to change. So string equal to console.readLine will read the string, and let's say have some counter as well, count equal to 0. Okay, and this counter will be used. So what we are going to do essentially is that we are going to check if dictionary is empty, we are going to add. If it already have something, we're going to update the counter. Okay, this is simple logic because it has both string and integer on the same variable, so we're going to leverage that. Okay, so that is the efficiency by which we'll achieve some efficiency. So let's implement it. So if this basically dictionary query dictionary is dot contains it is a it basically key value, so contains key. We're checking that if it has key, and what is the key we're talking about? Is string that we just got from user. If it already have already has this key, then what we're going to do, we're going to, or let's take a reverse case. If it doesn't have, then we should be adding it. And how to add it? Query dictionary dot add. Okay, so string this one, and count is basically, we can say the, if it came first time, so we can say hard coded 1. Once it uh, came next time, then of course we can increase the count. So else, and yeah, else what we're going to do is we need to update it. So how to update it? This, if you notice this one, query string. So here basically we need to get at the count, that what's the current count we have, and that we can increase. So count anyway plus plus that we can do, but before that we need to get that what is, if the key is already there in dictionary, what's the current count. So we need to get that. So count equal to, we can get uh, query dictionary, and so against that key what's the count, first we need to get that, and once we got, then we need to basically count, we need to increase by 1. So first we got what was the previous count, and then we are increasing that against the same key. Okay, so we're reusing that. So cassette of reusability is coming here, and of course it is a while loop, and it's going reverse. So until, we also need to reduce this to stringless count minus minus every time. So this is something that this loop will basically help us to get that, get all the string into that, and their count basically. So if the count is basically, it will have all the keys and the respective count. Uh, if it is already there, it will increase. If it's not, it will add. So you can notice that how efficiently we are able to get the count and the key, respective keys and their count using the same loop only, right? So that's the power of dictionary or hash map here. Now, so this was the, I would say, we fill this like all the strings and their count. Now we also need to get the queries, right? The other part, and for that we can again reuse some of the variable that we used earlier. So query count. So again, let's ask from user. So now we got the strings simple sorted. Now we are going for a next one, query 1. So string is done. Now query 1. So for that, again we can ask user for the same thing, that please enter query list 1 by 1. No change on this one. Change is only happening in the data structure, or how we are going to, how we are getting it from user and how we are storing it. That's where the change is, and that's where the performance lies, that how we are using it. But again, this loop is going to be similar this time, while loop. Now we got all the string there, but again we need to loop through that until the query count is greater than 0. So query list count, then 0, until that we'll loop it. Okay. We can use any, even for loop also we can use, it doesn't matter. I just use while for simplicity in this case. So now we got queries also, and for that, if the query is there already in the string list, we can just simply print that numbers, and if it is not, then of course we can print 0, means it's not there. Okay, so again string we can get the query. So we can get the query from user. If the query that we got from user is already there, so query dictionary, okay, dot contains key. It already had the key, okay, that the user is getting. Then simply what we can do, we can uh, we can print that respective query dictionary count, right? Because in the previous loop we already got a count for each string. So if string and query is matching, uh, if it basically if this query dictionary have like if you notice this one, this query dictionary, if it already have that key that we got, then we can say basically I think the better name would be string dictionary because it has the string and the count. So let's rename it. I think that is a better naming. Yes. So if the string dictionary already have this key that we are getting now, we are going to get the count. And how we're going to get the count is, count is sitting on this one. So dictionary and against the query that we got. That is a key for us, right? And what is the query we are talking about? This one, query. Because this also matching means it has already, and if it is has means it will have the count as well, and we can print it. And if it doesn't, means it doesn't appear in string list, so we can simply say console.writeLine, and we can simply say 0. Okay. So I hope you got the concept. It's pretty simple. Just using dictionary, first to store all the keys and the respective count. You know, and again once they are stored, we are getting the keys from user, and the key is already there in the string. We are simply reading those dictionary and printing it, right? So you can notice how efficient it is. This was almost going to be, this one is almost going to be O1 because we already have the, we just need to read it from dictionary, right? Just looping it because just to reach to the right place, like we're going looping all the queries basically, but fetching would be very smart because we're using dictionary here. Now let's run the same example and comment this one and rather call the other one. Hope this works this time. Okay. Array count is 3. AB, AB, me check it again. What was the data? AB, AB, ABC, AB, AB, ABC. Query count again 3. And here we have AB, ABC, BC, AB. Oh, it's telling me AB, AB. So it's giving me instant result. So AB is 2, ABC is 1. Awesome. And what was the third one? BC. BC is 0. Okay, so it's giving the result. Only thing is that it's giving instant result because this is how we are printing. But nevertheless, the results are matching. So AB came 2 times, ABC came 1 time, and BC came 0. So you can see that how we avoided the nested loop, and we could save the, I would say, CPU cycles and time, of course. And this is a lot, I would say, efficient approach. By just tweaking the way we are fetching the data and the way we are storing it, we were able to achieve a lot of efficiency on this one, right? So that's a efficient approach. Again, we are almost towards the end of this, so we talked about these approaches demo. The code would be available on this GitHub thing, so if you want to play around with the code, you can see that. You know, and again, this bit about me, who am I and what I do. I do these video out of passion. And again, if you want me to continue, you want to subscribe to get notified for next channel, next video. Thanks a lot. Take care.